Yeah, I wasn't either,
People,
but people don't use it
yeah.
much. Except in quick match, I guess.
Oof.
And Soren's gone. But that's fine. Look at all the resources on this map. How crazy is that? So there are a few different spots that could work reasonably well. We even have like adjacent geos up there, which is tempting me in some ways towards expansive. It's just still kind of awkward. Overall, Scientific has some really good locations this game. Really good spots for Scientific overall that I think could work quite well. These two tiles could maybe do something nice. I mean, you could maybe even plant up here. There are just so many good spots. I don't know if you have to found super fast. Somebody's going to take that one. Maybe we take this one in response. Actually, maybe I cancel that and instead claim that guy. Just to have it. Don't really need to buy up steel necessarily. Maybe need to buy up some steel. Okay, never mind. We'll just plant 3 steel because somebody took the aluminum I wanted. And then immediately sold it down for a massive profit. Which is unfortunate, but we might just have to do without aluminum this game. It's the downside to have not planted up here. Thankfully, there are going to be multiple players in aluminum, so we'll just have to see how it goes. And we'll try and make our little scientific spot work. Hopefully it'll go reasonably well. We're just a little bit later than we would have liked to be because of that claim getting canceled in particular. We have a robot here trying to abuse that whole power concept with his geotherms. Everybody seems to have gotten a fairly choice location, honestly. Like, it's not bad at all. So I'm going to see if I can push into 30 glass fairly easily before this guy does. His water is better than mine. He is going into food, so maybe I don't want to fight him in food. And instead, maybe I just go into glass. If he wants food, I could just make glass. I could make power, but some people already have geotherms established, things like that, so maybe that's not the best option.
A new claim is available for auction. Bidding will begin at
5,000.
New claim wouldn't be bad. Would let me get down power fairly easily, which is always a positive.
9,000.
I gotta be a little careful on debt, because I did take quite a bit of it on to get this spot, which was not a good idea necessarily. 24,000, we'll probably let it go. We have too much debt to really push much higher, because note that our debt's already 17,000, and a lot of these guys have none, basically, effectively. So, just something to be watching out for. Niven is making steel. Yeah, he's already pushed into 3 farms. He's way ahead of us in that area. That was an expansion, which drove up steel a little bit. I'm not really sure that matters, because we're using our steel anyway to put down glass. But regardless, we can see what happens with it. Do I grab an extra claim, becomes the question. And if I do, what do I do with it? Do I just add to this silicon tile right here, so I can secure power later effectively? Might not. Oh, well, it just jumped to 5. And is it worth 5 also becomes a really important question. Do I go ahead and push for that? I think I might. I would have liked it for 3 if I'd been a little bit faster, a little more decisive. It could have worked out, but I just wasn't. So it didn't. So I'm going to take this because this guy's trying to. Go ahead and throw down on it. Now, I could shift into iron production instead of steel for a while, but we already have people gathering iron, so I don't know if that's the best idea. I can't use glass too long in order to support my own upgrades, especially because there are 2 robots in this game. Glass just isn't the best thing to be in at all. And I really need to manage to push to power at some point. But for the most part, I think I'm just sitting here waiting now. Pulling in that silicon, so I'll be able to throw down power in general. And eventually we'll manage to push there. But for now, I mostly just have to wait. These steel mills, these glass furnaces to do their job. We've got plenty of cash built up for oxygen for the furnaces. That shouldn't be a problem. And I don't really want to sell glass before I absolutely have to. I'd rather make Wells buy it. Make Herbert and Asimov buy it to get to those upgrades. Okay, there goes Wells. We can see that price jumped a little bit. He's going into a lot of power for him. Understandable. But I think I mostly just need to sit here for the time being. Like, aluminum has spiked a little bit. I'd like for people to sell out of it. There is a lot of it coming in. It should come down eventually. So maybe I just sit here and wait still. Wait for these prices to kind of level out just a little bit. Don't worry too much about the black market. Good, people are attacking wells. That's fine. Okay, that's an upgrade, but sell aluminum. Just sell aluminum for me. Come on. That's all I need you to do. Sell some aluminum while I sit here patiently. Look at all the aluminum you guys are dragging in.
Magnetic pulse.
I mean, Bradbury isn't bringing in too much, right? But Herbert, he's got quite a lot. Nobody wants the EMP? I don't want the EMP. I'm not into that kind of thing right now. EMP is actually going to go for 4,000. That's crazy. I wonder who picked that up. Oh well. Not really my concern, I guess. Well, let's go ahead and sell down some steel. See where that ends us up. We can put down a few panels pretty easily. I'm just really waiting for this aluminum price to come down. We have 2 people pulling in a fairly large amount of it. You would think it would drop before long, but no, it's actually just rising right now. There it goes. That's what I'm talking about. Now we'll sell down glass, upgrade, get down power very quickly, hopefully. And then maybe, let's see. At this point, I could grab a new claim if I sold out of stuff in general. Pirates spotted. That's pirates on aluminum, interestingly enough. My silicon's coming in nicely. The glass is still okay. Just not good, but okay. Maybe I go ahead and push to a new claim. What I maybe should have done was sold all my glass, scrap that, move that into power in particular, and go from there. In order to get these new claims, things like that. Maybe that would have been okay. As it is, hopefully power will help pay down debt fairly well. Let's see, nukes are available. If I wanted to be nuking things, I could. I could try and start a nuke war. That could be hilarious. I do have an upgrade. Aluminum's a bit expensive, though. Oh, it just came down a bit. We'll take that.
We'll have more facilities open in no time.
That lets us far more easily go ahead and push into at least a half-decent water patch that we can use. And then maybe along with that, I just go into dry ice, which is looking all right. I don't know if reactors are the best call. Farms might be better. I already have a lot of glass saved up. Farms are doing pretty well. Reactors, I mean, they're really, really similar. I think I'll just go ahead and hit the farms, though. Steel's a bit expensive for the reactors. Especially if I'm going to go ahead and move into dry ice condensers anyways. This might be the better option. So I can put down 1 very easily. Maybe I just start it here and be ready to rotate these if I need to. There are options here, guys. I don't know exactly how to approach it. All I know is that aluminum is at a ridiculous price and I got power surged, and that makes me sad. An EMP would have been lovely, but the power surge works all right. Actually, a slowdown strike might have been a better option there. Slowdown strike's still rather effective. Oh, seriously? Well, I guess, I mean, I already have power down, but it always feels bad when something that close to your base gets auctioned, right?
6.
I mean, I'll take it, I guess. If people want to give it away cheap, it could be useful.
7,000.
It's not really cheap anymore, though, so it's kind of that detail.
8,000.
It's also worth paying attention to the fact that dry ice condensers actually build really fast. They build twice as fast as other buildings. I don't know if I'm going to use that anytime soon, but it's something. Alright, Bradbury's going after a cheap buy on Niven. He is pretty darn close to it, too, actually. He is very, very close to it. Tell you what, I'm going to start selling out of myself. And I might just buy up half myself. This is kind of a game-losing move most of the time, it seems, but on the other hand, that'll really, even just 3 of them, might help encourage people to stay away from me a little bit. And leave me in a slightly better spot, all things told. So there is a hologram down, which means this might not actually be an engineering lab or research lab. I could grab a spy and check. Okay, it is a research lab, and he's actually going for food production, which is really interesting to me. The carbon is coming in nicely, which is good. How's that dry ice condenser doing? Plus 97. Not as good necessarily as the glass furnace, which is not showing me its power cost, I guess because it costs almost no power whatsoever. Let's just get out of these. move into more of these. And go ahead and hit this since steel is pretty cheap. I'd love to get an upgrade. Right now, when all these prices are so cheap. Dust Storm income. Oh yeah, coming Dust Storm. So I guess that's Soren, which we probably already knew for the most part. Buy a little bit of that. Okay, he's starting to sell out, so I'll probably sell out as well. I made the buy. I can get that back fairly easily. We'll just take that cash back. Unfortunately, steel's a bit more expensive now, but what can you do?
I've never seen such elegant use of funds. We'll have more facilities.
I'm just going to grab another steel tile, which will probably switch into a hacker array and or an engineering lab later. Let's see. Hacker array kind of looks like a reasonable choice this game. So maybe we'll just make a hacker array for the moment. That leaves me 3 claims left. I can pretty easily drop Chem Labs. I'd love a new claim purchase. Nope, that's a hologram. Okay, that's a new claim. I can hologram something, I guess. Hologram that tile. Now it looks like a research lab. Maybe one day it will be a research lab. That will allow me to more easily claim power, was the basic idea. I can grab a geotherm with that. And then I can also throw down very easily 3 Chem Labs, was the basic idea. Alright, 6,000 for dynamite. Might be useful long term. We'll just hold on to it. Food shortage. I was not expecting that. I got a nice shipment of food right as I made that purchase as well, so this might go well for me. Unfortunately, there is a dust storm, which hurts, but whatever. Oh, maybe that's not Soren then. Interesting. Do I have a... No, my black market is just... Okay, so my hologram and my spy are properly showing that I can buy them at any time now, which is an important detail. Let's get into those other 2 Chem Labs. Shoot. And then short chems, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of chem production down. There's some, but not a ridiculous amount. That hits a bunch of people. And I really should be saving up money at this point, like crazy, if I can. How much do I need to actually purchase somebody, if I wanted to? Times 5, yeah. There's some fairly cheap targets around. Maybe I just wait on this and go. I'm just gonna do that. Make it super obvious. Tell everybody, hey, come. Try and do something. I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, and then it just completely didn't land. Just flopped. It was awful. Now, I could switch into iron as well and try to do something silly with that if I wanted to. Steel's still kind of okay, though, and I am scientific. So the question is, do I need to make that transition? Not really. So why bother? Whoa! Well, that happened. Wells is halfway to killing me, which is actually really, really scary. The fact that he has this much cash. But a lot of that is going to be coming with the Marsquake. Hopefully he's not also in chems. That would just be silly. If he could get to the point where he could actually just straight up buy me from that combination Marsquake into shortage. I don't think it's going to happen. A lot of people buying themselves up right now. We'll go for this. Just be this guy right now. That's really terrifying. Don't do that to me. Get at least half of me. There we go. That's better. Oh, seriously? Right now? Seriously? Well, he made his one buy. Nobody cares. Get it out of here. Nope, nobody cares. Get it out of here. Nobody wants that nonsense right now.
Your stock is being bought.
Okay, good. So we got some extra claims. We got 5 extra claims based on that. And we can actually use this giant water patch very, very well. So that's probably what I'm just going to do, is use those 5 extra claims to take a bunch of these water tiles. As that should be a fairly decent purchase for me. All those reactors should be doing a lot of work. A lot of work. Let's go ahead and get out of this guy. Throw this down. Get out of these guys. Throw these down. There you go. And then we'll start this. Solar flare, don't really care. Power is going to be an interesting thing when expanding, because you don't get your opponent's power back. Power. At all. Like in any way. Let's see. There are pirates available. Not nearly enough of them have been coming down this game, which has been kind of awkward. Iron is still real good. Do you think you guys have separate iron? No, just kind of silicon and a variety of other things. Alright. The chem labs aren't doing so hot anymore because fuel went a little nuts. I guess they're still kind of semi-viable. The dry ice condensers are working brilliantly during this solar flare, I need to say.
Pirates. I hate
Maybe we start some electronics research, though. I don't know if that's what I was planning on researching, but it could work really well. That there. This guy I wanted to turn into something else long-term. It's still kind of working for me right now. It's just a little awkward. We'll see how things go, though. Alright, here goes the iron shortage. Very helpful, very helpful. Hologram that guy to look like something weird. Let's buy that last little bit of stock in Bradbury to give ourselves a nice boost. We do have a lot of debt, which I need to watch out for, certainly. But we'll see what happens. There. We made a reasonable sell there. Made a fair amount of money, I think. It is starting to look closer and closer to Offworld o'clock. But we're not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Chem labs are really not doing well. I'm just going to move out of them and out of the silicon here. I am getting pirated, finally, in my food. Which should have happened a real long time ago. And maybe I can scrap one of these for a patent lab to help out. I'm not really keeping track of everybody else very well. I should be getting aggressive with these things. All these things. I should be attacking somebody. What am I trying to make money in right now? Iron and steel-ish? I could potentially slow down strike somebody's steel, for example. Bradbury, in particular, somebody I need to be watching out for. I got hit by a slowdown strike and a lot of my stuff, which sucks. They're still making okay money. It's just, you know, kind of sucks. Man, iron is doing well, but steel is so good right now, too. I don't know how to handle this situation, because I'm pulling in really, really good iron. But if I could pull in really, really good steel, it would be helpful. Let's just start throwing down some spies in various places. I should have put one on the patent lab to see what he was doing there, but I'm an idiot. Sorry. I'm just going to go ahead and get on out of these and back into steel. Research is still going fine. A lot of people have been forced out of life support, which is good for me. I could grab that last little bit of Herbert stock just to beef up my price a little bit more for the moment. I do have the ability. Man, that is so expensive. 200,000 because steel is just that pricey right now. I only need 587 to actually get a kill. Maybe I should just keep doing this. Hold on. Who's actually making electronics right now? You're trying to. You kind of are. There's some people vaguely in it, but nobody's really doing it well at the moment. Let's see. Who's doing it the best? 3 here. But these are going over here. Oh man, I could have bought pirates to deal with that. Shoot, alright, well then, here's what I'll do. Hit there. Could still build an Offworld, still probably never going to, ever. Okay. Let's see, what did I want to pick up here? It was, I think part of it might have been teleportation at some point. I don't know if I absolutely need that. This is not fun. Thankfully, I'm scientific. So it's also not the end of the world. Let's go ahead and buy into that a little bit more. I really want pirates, but I have a D stock rating now. And that's going to start hurting quite badly. I might need to pay down debt instead of going for a buy. 500-something thousand for a kill. Still. Ugh. Patent lab, what are you doing? I never made you do anything. Go for carbon scrubbing. We need to be using these things constantly right now. Because chems are just so cheap right now. Also, I'm really making way too much oxygen, all things considered. Yep, he's halfway to purchasing us. We are not... We are halfway to... Okay, he just went for a buy. That's fine. 534. You got wrecked!
Yeah.
Take that.
Game Slayer got me back. I just never got my footing in this game.
I understand. I've had an awkward game. I'm trying to figure it out.
I would have totally claimed that high water that you got from the Heisenberg if you hadn't protected. That was why I claimed. That was why I found it there. I originally wanted that high water, but Heisenberg got it.
Yeah. I really should have done something different with those tiles a long time ago, and I just never did. guess I'll just take a buy. Man, buying someone out really doesn't fix your debt the way I'm used to it doing right now.
No.
Oh, just not at all. Not even a little bit. All right, well, I'll figure out what I can do with these new claims, I guess. Well, I know one option. That'll work reasonably well, I guess. That'll do. Move these around into that. It's just a very different, it's a very different thing. See, I thought for sure you were Bradbury at first. Then later I figured out it was Game Slayer, but...
I wish I was.
Yeah, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. There, fix it. Okay, we're good.
I made the mistake of thinking I could build a geothermal at level 1.
The trading service. Price manipulation begins shortly.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Certainly.
Does hologram disappear now? What do you mean by that, Terry?
I don't know what he's trying to ask. Everything is so expensive. I don't know what to do about it.
Oh wow, you got a lot of things holograms.
Yeah, well, it's important. It's hologram things.
Were you the one driving up the price of iron?
Maybe.
Got pretty crazy there.
Ish.
Maybe.
A little bit. Kind of. Yes.
I love the hologram. I love the hologram hacker ray. It just makes everyone so suspicious.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't even have my hacker ray hologrammed right now. It's just way out in the open, just sticking there.
You know, Breber has double geotherms, like adjacent geotherms. Right?
Yeah, I
them
saw those were
800 a
there.
second.
I didn't realize power had gone quite that nuts.
He
It's
has
something I need to
he
get
has
used
no
to.
debt.
Is the idea that, like, when you claim somebody, you're not getting any power from them anymore. So when you put down those 5 buildings, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And
What I'm
suddenly
saying
causing
is
a problem.
You should power surge that.
Oh, I should. Yes, definitely. Because it is making him a ridiculous amount of money.
800 a
That's
second.
the wrong thing to be doing right now. Doing everything wrong right now. I'm losing track of everything I'm trying to do. And I have a D stock rating, so I can't do any of that nonsense anyway, so. What do I need to get a buy? Almost 600,000? I think I might just need to pay
Wow,
on
you
debt in a
dropped
moment
a
here.
bunch of spies. Didn't find anything though. It looks like I think you have all of hologram. Well, let me see.
Yeah, I did drop down a bunch of spies, but they were kind of just insurance.
Yep.
They were
It's
cheap
always
at the
nice to
time,
know.
so it's just like, whatever, I'll go with it. What do I have? 481. I need to push to 600. Tell you what, I'm just gonna... Fine, we're gonna make this play. This hurts real bad. Not something you ever want to do, but...
What are you gonna do? Put
Oh,
down
just paying
pay
down
down your
debt.
debt?
Yeah. Because I feel like I have to. Alright.
Are you gonna try to buy Herbert or go for Bradbury?
I don't know. I kind of feel like we're into that standard six-player game issue right now, where the person who shoots first might just be the one to lose, but
Yeah.
that's why I typically avoid 6-man games as much as I can. But I just figured there were enough people around that we could try opening it up and see how it goes, you know.
Sure.
Those are doing fine, those are doing better.
Yeah. This is doing alright. I mean, you got a big stock advantage. Just gotta figure out how you want to use it.
I know, and that's the hard part. I would have loved to push to an Offworld, but steel prices have been holding at ridiculous levels all game long, which has been really awkward.
Offer prices are not that great either.
Yeah, exactly.
424 in auctions is the highest I see.
Yeah. And
Actually,
Kim's isn't even
Actually,
like, any
electronics
good.
is higher.
Yeah, 437 for electronics. They occasionally peak up there, just not very often at all. Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, he's got carbon scrubbing. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, carbon. It's a dry ice map.
Yeah. Well, it was up in the hundreds for a while there.
Yeah, it was. On the other hand, I just threw down dry ice condensers, and it went well for me. I tried to pick up carbon scrubbing a long time ago, actually. I just haven't. I've been losing track still. Trying to talk and do at the same time has not gone well.
People getting bought out really changes the market around.
Yeah.
When I got bought out, all my electronics disappeared.
Well, exactly.
Although electronics is kind of crap.
I did not
Someone
realize
surplus it?
for a long time that I still did not have enough power. I don't know. I think it just... I had like 7 electronics factories
like
running
you
full
crashed the
time
market yourself.
at 100%. Yeah, so
You
they
did it
just
the
it just
old-fashioned
eventually
way.
it just eventually died off, you know, as happens
Jeez,
from
Herbert
time
has
to time.
four carbon quarries.
Well, yeah. Not doing a whole lot for him, but he does have them.
No, no. He's got to do something with that. You should switch some of those to chems.
Yeah, he really should. Oh man, what to do? Do I just go for it this game? I need to keep using all these things. I have all these things down. I'm doing a terrible job of actually utilizing them.
I mean, I would think you would go for Bradbury, but funny, Herbert has a little stockpile.
Yeah. I mean, Herbert has a stockpile of
600,000
money.
in cash.
exactly.
sitting on.
Well, and Bradbury has almost 800,000, which is, once again, terrifying
Yeah.
in and of itself. It's a bit of a concern. What am I doing? Okay.
I think the big question is whether Bradbury is going to buy Herbert or not.
So I feel like this particular mode, interestingly enough, might make Offworlds less valuable on average while you're playing in it. Why can't I buy anything on the... Okay, 12 seconds, that's why. It's very strange to me, the Offworld, like, you've got the indicators for Hologram and Spy that, yes, you can buy something, but then everything else you still can't use, and it's very awkward trying to figure out exactly what's going on in the moment right now. Later on, I'm sure it would be fine. But do I just do this? I think I might just have to make this play at this point. Shoot. I'm just going to go for it.
Our hackers have compromised the trading servers. Price manipulation.
You got a lot more money than he does.
Yeah, I know,
He
which
blew
is
it all.
definitely a positive. Okay.
Glass is just way too expensive to go off world. So.
Well, I planted one, but we'll see how that goes.
Oh.
I was just like, I'm making one. Just one. We'll see what happens with that, but I don't know how it's going to work out, honestly.
We spent $40,000 on glass to build the off-world.
Yeah, well, I have 400 glass sitting around. Like, it was a situation where I had a ridiculous amount of glass and steel stockpiled, and I was just kind of keeping those prices high for the moment. On the other hand, glass is still insane.
So
Steel
you need
is
at least
not.
3 shipments to make up for the money you made there.
Yeah.
The
So
money you
will
put
it
in the
last for
off-world.
that long is the question,
Yeah.
right? And maybe it won't. On the other hand, I have nanotech, which is part of why I made the play, you know, because
okay, that's
those
totally different.
resources
That's-
aren't gone
Yeah,
necessarily.
that's totally different. Never mind. I
Yeah.
take it back.
It could work out because I have nanotech, basically.
Yeah, well, that's pretty interesting. So how's Gameslayer Wart done with his... Doesn't look like he's really taking advantage... Well, he's doing alright. Trying to tell he's taking advantage of his robotic bonus.
On the other hand, I have literally no idea what I can actually send with this to make it any good whatsoever. Oh man, how much do I need? 900,000? I'm getting there, slowly. But it's happening. Slowdown strikes everywhere.
Oh, he's got a bunch. He did a bunch of off-world markets.
Did he? That's interesting. I would not have done that if I were him. That does explain what happened to this. Well, steel dropped down to $2, so it might have been a reasonable decision on his part.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I had
Whoa.
a stockpile of 800 that I just sold off.
That's probably why he did
So that's
it.
what
You're
kind of pushed him into it.
But he must have spent at
Was
least
that steel price dying?
$50,000 on the glass and electronics to do that.
Get rid of that. Yeah, I mean, he spent a lot, and that's definitely helpful for me because I had been making glass this whole time.
The trading servers. Price
And I don't think he's making glass, and I don't think he's making much silicon either, so that's really creating an advantageous situation for me. Because I can ignore the silicon price, obviously, and continue making glass at ridiculous amounts, and I can use the silicon that I have.
Well, he doesn't see your off-world market, so it could be that's why he's going for it.
Yeah.
But
Look at all the money.
But I'm just probably going to let this short play out, and then I should be just about there. Yep, there it is.
all right.
All right, got it done. Ask Soren if any changes have happened to financial instruments.
Well, I boosted them up to 25%. I don't know if they're viable now. It's so dependent upon how people are playing with debt, you know. I definitely I might want to just drop the price of financial instruments.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure they weren't game killing when I put them in. So now it's like kind of we're gonna have a long process of like slowly making them a little
viable.
cheaper, a little better, so on and so forth.
Because like 100% of the time, I'd rather have teleportation than financial instruments, basically.
Sure. So we'll get it there. It does. So that means it doesn't need to be it could be a mid-tier patent. And that would be fine, I think. Right. I mean, would you choose virtual reality?
Or financial instruments kind of thing.
Like,
Yeah.
That's a more difficult call. Well, that was a well-paced game. I mean,
It was.
there's a lot. I think there's something to be said for the way this mode works. It's kind of interesting to like when you do a buyout, you kind of you take a look at the colony and you kind of figure out what you want to do with it. And,
Yeah. Well, and prices, I also find it interesting that it feels like it's easier maybe to keep a handle
Yeah.
on exactly what's going on. Because there's just less going on, which I don't know. I kind of like that personally because I always have trouble. I always play this game while I'm talking at this point. And I have trouble keeping track of everything, but I don't know. It's really strange. I mean, I guess a huge difference of this game, you can see Well, first of all, I've been making the hack array work, which I love that I can make the hacker array work these days still. But it doesn't feel like it's maybe absolutely necessary. But still, I made 800,000 in glass.
Right.
And something like 700,000 in electronics. I don't know. It feels differently paced from a normal game.
Right. Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you think now? You played 2 games of it.
Oh, well, I'm enjoying the mode so far. I'll need to play more of it. I like...
Right.
I mean, I won this one, so I'm happy with that, right? But,
Right.
I would hope... Maybe chat's been talking about it, and I've been missing it, so I should have checked. Yeah, your stock price doesn't increase much at all from buying someone because you don't get their claims, Gameslayer felt like. Gameslayer felt like he didn't have any possible chance of winning that one. Which, maybe he has a point. But
yeah, well, the question is, would it be worse or better with the just without the destroy thing? I mean, you got an early buy-in, and we have to like imagine how this game would have played out if you had gotten his colony and all of this stuff.
Right. Which his colony was actually pretty fantastic. Let's be honest.
Right. Well, everyone was level 5.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yeah, everybody slow played it to level 5, I think. Like,
yeah,
that's,
well, that was that was the interesting thing too. No one really got bought out. I mean, I came within a whisker hair of getting bought out.
Yeah, I was protecting you during that. I think a lot of people actually dove in and protected you because that's the level of play we're sitting at with this group of players. You know what I mean?
Which was really good to see. Like there was a lot of it, and there's some benefit there of basically scaring someone to buy up their own stock because you buy into it, they buy some shares, pump up the price, and you just make a quick profit. You sell out of it.
Well, and then from my perspective, I slowed the game down as well a little bit because I bought 3 of my own stock before I got aggressive. I only bought 3.
Yeah.
Because I only needed to push to 5. So if I buy up 3, that kind of leaves 2 more. It's not too difficult, and that worked out really well for me. But everybody was just kind of doing a lot of things to slow the game down in terms of the stock market.
I'm considering giving a little bit of stock when you hit certain levels, like maybe when you upgrade to level 4 or 5, you get a share of your own stock, and just to kind of like, I am concerned of people getting rushed.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's nice to reward people for playing the game sort of like the normal way, which is like
upgrading,
try to get to level 4, try to get to level 5, right? Like that's if you go down that path, then you only need to buy up 3 of your own shares and you'll be safe. But I still have to think some of that stuff through.
Well, and Gameslayer is making the standard point where I don't think it matters. I mean, there are just a lot of the core design of the game when you've got 3 people in it. When it's just 3 people, it makes for a really awkward situation because it does turn into a bit of that standoff. But
yeah, I mean that's why 4 player is better than 6 player. It's just sort of the way it is.
Yeah. I don't know how to resolve that though. It would take some very clever mechanic in there.
The issue is you were just outpacing Gameslayer, right?
Yeah,
because I think it's fine. I mean, 6 player works out well if you end up with 2 people with 3 headquarters, right? And that's actually what happened this game. You were just.
I guess I did have 3 headquarters compared to 2 and then 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but then he did buy Heisenberg.
Yeah, and he eventually did get to Heisenberg, but at that point, sorry, he got to Hydroponos, I guess is who it was. Yeah.
You were. I mean, you just had a big lead. So the question here is, how would this game played out under the old model,
right,
versus this model?
That's, I think, the most important thing right now. Exactly.
Right. It's like it's not. We can't necessarily fix everything all at once. The question is, would this game have been worse under the old model? Like, would you have just, would you have been just even that far more ahead of Gameslayer?
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. But, I mean, the whole 3-person issue is totally separate from the majority buyout issue in particular. Yeah. So,
yeah. And I feel like you would have been ahead farther.
Yeah, I would have been ahead farther, certainly, because I would have gotten, like, when I bought Heisenberg, who was the first person I bought,
right,
I put down almost the exact same buildings he had down. I just only put down 5 of them instead of 15
so you had to pay,
or whatever.
You had to pay for them, and you didn't get them.
Yeah, I had to pay for them. That
And, you know, it was a struggle to get an off-world market up, right? Like,
Oh
it
yeah,
was
for sure.
debatable
Well, and I
whether
only
was
did
the
it
right choice.
because I got to nanotech in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And that can make a huge difference. I don't think it was never even profitable. It was never even remotely profitable for me either.
Right.
If I look at it, I think because I go to resources, I sent one food launch, so I should have just sold it even after
Right.
sending that food launch. But
Yeah. It was really interesting how like the stock game is now like a really active part of the game. It feels like with majority buyout, like you got to pay a lot of attention to what's going on up there. And you know, you're often seeing like how people need to defend other players, right?
Yeah.
And that finally happened this game. I mean, these are all good players, so that's a big part of it. But like, you know, like you're paying more attention to the stock market as you see that stuff happen. You know, you see people buying in and selling out at opportune times, and it was pretty interesting. All right, well, I actually probably need to get going.
Okay.
Do you have any more thoughts? I mean, I hope you guys keep playing some. I mean, I'll
yeah,
watch later.
we'll probably keep playing. But off the top of my head, I don't have a whole lot. Game Slayer seems to really like the idea of majority buyouts. I guess that's good considering he's one of the stronger players in the game. But I'm just gonna have to play more of it and poke around with it a bit more.
Yep.
And see exactly how it all works out. But so far, I'm enjoying the mode. Certainly, you're always just that little bit closer to dying, which kind of leads people to playing a little bit differently, I think.
Yep.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
But it's good. We'll just keep playing around with it.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I think the two main questions, one for each of these modes is, you know, first of all, like, is the general concept good? And then the other question is like, okay, if you think the concept is good, are there some specific tweaks we can make to it?
Yeah, just small balance tweaks. Like, would 6 claims be better than 5? Maybe, you know, just small things like that.
Or I considered having it like 4 claims plus the size of the HQ that you bought.
Right. Well, and with the ability to maybe purchase new claims afterward, that could be interesting. I don't know, but
yeah, you mean like upgrading their HQ?
Well, upgrading their HQ, but just differently,
I don't
sort of thing.
I think I'm going to allow that just because it's going to be very different.
Well, I don't mean straight upgrade, but there's this idea of, do you just wait for that person to just sit on their stock until they get to HQ 5 and then you kill them? You know, it's just. But anyways.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of small things.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think you can sit on someone's stock under this mode anymore.
It's true. It's true. It's a lot harder, certainly.
Because if you have 5 shares waiting for 6, well, someone can easily come in and buy those shares super fast. So, yeah, I think the destroy is the more. I think majority buyout, I think, is definitely a win. I'm not as sure about the destroy, but anyway, you guys should play some more. I'll take a look at it later.
Sounds good. I'll let you get on out of here.
All right. See you guys later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, guys.